Hey guys, welcome back to Heart Breathing. So today we have another Preptober video, one of our last ones before actual NaNoWriMo begins. And today we're going to be talking about something that I have found incredibly helpful for myself in the past, and I'm really hoping it's going to help you too. And that is creating a creativity toolbox. This is a set of tools that you are going to be able to come back to throughout the entire month of Nano, and really anytime you're working on a writing project, to help you fill the well, get new motivation, and get back to your writing. So if you're excited about seeing this video, just keep watching. So while I'm on the road, I don't exactly have a box that I can put all of this stuff into, but what I do have is just a little folder. So I ran to Office Depot and I got a few essentials, and I'm just keeping them. This is just one of those little file folder kind of things to keep documents in. And that is what I'm putting some of my little goodies into. But you could really use anything. You could just use a stack on your desk. You could use a basket, or you could use an actual box if you have one available. Michael's has some really cool photo boxes that kind of are like shoe boxes. You could use that. You could use an actual shoe box and decoupage it with all types of things for your novel. The list goes on. Anything that makes you feel excited to go into it. One of the reasons that I actually chose this particular one is because I am a sucker for polka dots pretty much every time. So I was like, this will be perfect. And I can just slide it under one of the seats in the car, because during the month of NaNoWriMo, my family will be moving at least 4, if not 5 times. I can't quite remember, but we're moving quite a bit. You guys will see all of that during the NaNoWriMo diaries. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and you will see those daily vlogs as I write the 12th book in my Shadow Demon saga. It's going to be a wild and crazy month. We are making our way from different areas of Florida to New Orleans and then out to Texas. So there's going to be a lot of traveling happening. And I wanted to make sure that I had a place where I could keep some of these creativity toolbox items that wasn't going to take up a lot of space in our car, but that I could keep it all together in one little packet. So this is what I'm doing with mine, but feel free to share yours. I would actually love to see, if you decide to create a creativity toolbox, I would love to see photos of it over on Instagram. So you can tag me there at Heart Breathings, and you can use the hashtag Preptober, or you can use the hashtag Heart Breathings, or you can also use the hashtag Creativity Toolbox. The basic idea behind having a creativity toolbox is actually so that you can help to keep yourself motivated, so that you have a set of tools that you can come back to when you're starting to feel depleted, when you're starting to feel burned out, when you just need that extra push and motivation. This is especially true that sometimes we need that extra little bit of something when we're on massive deadline. When we have all the time in the world to write, maybe we don't need it as much because we can take days off and we can do lots of other things. But when we have a constrained timeline, like 30 days to write 50,000 words in the month of November, then we have to get a little bit more creative with how we manage our motivation and our energy. So this toolbox is all about putting things into it and thinking things through in terms of what is going to help you as an individual stay motivated and excited for your writing. So I have some cool ideas, but this is hopefully something that you're going to take and make your own and build on as you start thinking about this toolbox. And I hope it's something that you find really fun and exciting to do. So while we're here, I am actually going to share my screen with you. And this is part of the end of your Preptober planner. So if you didn't get one yet and you're new to my videos, I will have a link down below where you can sign up for my newsletter, and I will immediately send you this download, as well as all my free resources, like how to plot a novel, how to edit a novel, how to write a series, how to world build, all those good things, along with some different word count trackers. This NaNoWriMo Preptober planner is something that I put together with a few little extras this year. And there are lots of videos on my channel that I've been doing throughout the month. So go check them out in the Preptober playlist. Okay, so the first page of this creativity toolbox says, take a few minutes to think about simple things that make you feel good. So ideally, these are actions or items that you can really easily and simply and cheaply and inexpensively add into your daily or weekly routine, stuff that's going to just make you feel good. And sometimes I think that even though we know, for example, that sitting out on the back porch when the sun is going down at night inspires us to watch that sunset, a lot of times we don't actually take the time to just go do it, like to actually just go sit out there with a glass of wine or whatever it is. One of the things for me is I absolutely love to take a pretty wine glass and fill it up with crushed ice and some nice fresh lemons and add some sparkling water to it, like San Pellegrino, or just some nice, like water, fresh, cool water. And drink out of that type of glass with a fresh slice of lemon or fresh slice of lime or even an orange or something like that. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel fancy. It makes me feel refreshed. And I love it. For some reason, it just makes me feel good. And yet, I don't do it very often. So I have been making an effort as I've been planning for Preptober to get up every morning. And the first thing I do is go straight to the ice maker and I put that ice in the glass and I have my nice little ice water out by the pool. And that has been making such a difference in my attitude because it is this little act of self-care of I am worthy of having the kind of glass that I want and doing this fun, simple thing. Another thing that I've been doing is I have been taking my old school Beats pill, which is just like a Bluetooth speaker, and putting it in the bathroom. And I will blast out some really happy, motivating music. I have a playlist, a few playlists on my Spotify playlists that I have saved that are always kind of high vibe, feel good music. And so as soon as I step in to get into the shower, I will turn that speaker on and I will listen to that music and I will dance in the shower and I will feel good. On any kind of normal day, before I was started doing these things that made me feel better, I actually found myself, especially when I'm in the shower, like replaying negative things in my mind, or it's just tends to be a place where I tend to criticize myself. And I really feel like because the shower is something I do first thing in the morning, it needed to be a place where I really lift myself up. And I find that the happier I am and the better I feel, the more creative and productive I am. So this does tie in. This is self-care stuff. This is joy stuff, but it does tie in to your mental health and to your creativity. So just take a few minutes on this page that you have here in your planner. It's just some blank lined space to write out some of these things for yourself. Like maybe you don't care about water in a wine glass, but maybe you really love having apple juice in the morning. Or maybe it really makes you feel good to buy fresh flowers for your house. Something that should be pretty easy. It can be a feel good music. It can be your favorite socks or putting on your favorite PJs or wearing leggings the entire month. Something like lighting your favorite candle. Or another thing that I've been doing is I have this little portable essential oil diffuser. And so when I start up my music in the morning, I will also put just a couple drops of one of my favorite essential oils from Revive called Fantastic. I love it. I also have one called Mommy Fuel that I really like. And I will just put a couple drops of that in there so that the whole bathroom has this beautiful smell to it. And I love it. And then in the evenings, a lot of times I will pour a small glass of rosé and I will head outside to write or to work on stuff with a little bit of nice music on the background. I don't know what it is, but I love having motivational music. It always makes me feel good. So get that going. Another thing I want you to think about as you start filling out this list of simple joys, and you can just have it be little bullet points. So since I'm on my iPad here, I'm going to take these and kind of make little bullet points here. So you could take a little bullet point here, and then you could say ice water in a wine glass. Almost think of it like you're romancing yourself for a little while. Bubble baths, taking really hot showers, curling your hair, going for a run, anything that you sometimes deny yourself or you don't make time for just because you feel like you're not worthy or time just gets away from you. This is the time when you're trying to hit a deadline or you want to be particularly creative. I promise you, it will make a significant difference in your life to just spend that extra time doing things that feel really fun. So we do have a lot to cover today. And I know I've talked about this a lot, but go ahead and make that list of things. And I would try to list at least 2 or 3 things that you're going to add into your schedule on a daily basis. And it's just like simple things. It takes me almost no time to make that ice water, but it's so good for me and it just makes me feel happy. So add a few things like that. If you can get to 5 or 6 that don't take up a lot of time, then go for it. What I would also encourage you to do is down here, kind of on the bottom of the sheet, make a list of things that you're not going to do during Nano. So these are like your not joy list. Anything that really just like annoys the crap out of you that you don't really want to do and that you can afford to push back. Like, this month I am not going to listen to the news, because even though I feel that it is important to keep up with current events, listening to the news does not make me feel creative. So maybe pull that off the list. I'm also not going to hang out with my negative neighbor. This is just an example. I don't obviously have a neighbor because I'm moving right now, but let's say you have this neighbor that just constantly annoys you or whatever. I'm just not going to hang out with them this time, or I'm just not going to go and visit this friend that always has negative things to say about my writing. So come up with your like happy list and then your I'm not going to do that list. So what you're trying to do is amplify your joy, which will in turn amplify your creativity. So that's the first piece of the puzzle. That's your first part of your creativity toolbox. The second part of it is to reward yourself often. This is so important. This is like celebrating every tiny little step. Now, in this workbook, you do actually have a page where you can set out rewards for yourself for like 10,000 words, 20,000 words, and so on. And it's great to organize your rewards in terms of those bigger milestones. But what we're talking about in the creativity toolbox is the small rewards, the daily tiny little treats that you can give yourself. And what I would love, love, love to see you do is to actually go ahead and write them out on small pieces of paper or on note cards, whatever it is you want to do. So I bought these note cards, but you could also just take a big sheet of paper and cut it into strips and then make yourself 30 little rewards. What I really would recommend for you is to either do something like, let's say chocolate would be something that really motivates you. So for example, a little mason jar full of 30 Hershey Kisses that as soon as you hit that daily word count goal for the day, you get to dig into that jar and have your one daily Hershey Kiss for the day. Or it could be something like candy corn, if you love it or hate it, who knows, a little popsicle that you have in the fridge, a chocolate bar you have in the fridge, whatever it is. It could be food like that. Or it could be something where it's like, as soon as I hit my daily word count, I get to pull a strip of paper out of that little jar, whatever it may be. And maybe it'll be a little bit of a surprise as to which reward you get that day. So this might say you get to watch an episode of your favorite show. Yay! You get to read a chapter of the new book that you were reading. You get to go for a long walk outside. So what your job is here on this particular sheet, your rewards brainstorm, is to think of things that ideally are free or very inexpensive. So if you want to go big on those 5 big rewards, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 words, go big there. But for these, make them something that is just like a tiny little treat that you do for yourself. And like I said, food or chocolate or something like that can make a good reward. You can also have it be things like I said, like watching that next episode of something on Netflix. And it could be kind of like delaying something that you normally would allow yourself to do, like reading that next chapter of the book. Delayed gratification that you don't get to read that chapter until this particular thing is done. Another thing that I potentially will do because I love them so much is like one of the rewards that I'm giving myself for this particular NaNoWriMo. Let me kind of pull this out here. is I am on the road, so I'm not purchasing a lot of items while we're on the road. I kind of have just my staple stuff that I'm using. However, I am obsessed with pens, and so I did run to Target and grab a couple of different sets of pens. But in this, you have 7 different metallic brush pens that'll look really cool in, like it says here, it writes on black paper. And I will be setting up my Archer and Olive bullet journal for my kind of witchy book of shadows in the month of October. And I will be continuing to use it in December or in November when I'm doing Nano. So this will give me kind of a little extra motivation. And there's 7 of them in here. And this pack was maybe like $5 for the whole pack. So I will actually separate these. And what I will do is I'm going to put each color on a piece of paper. So like I said, you cut out all those different strips of paper, and I'm going to have one little strip that says purple metallic brushed pen, green metallic brush pen, another strip that says pink metallic brush pen, and it will go into the jar. I also have these Pilot G2 pens that are in, what is this, 8 different colors. So this is 8 different colors of this. So I will also put these 8 colors of pens. So for about 10 or 15 bucks, I can't remember how much this might have been more like $9. So for 10 or 15 bucks, I now have 15 different rewards, which gets me halfway through the month. Then I also have things like this sticker book. So this is something I brought with me anyway, but I'm specifically not been using because I want to save it for a reward. And so this sticker book is part of the Erin Condren Hello Kitty collection. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 different pages of stickers in here. So what I'm planning to do is actually each page is going to count as a reward, and I'm going to pull these pages out of here. And so these things will be 27 of my 30 days will come from just these 3 things. Then the other 3 days will most likely be something like food reward is my guess. But what I will do is I will separate those little strips and I'll just write a little thing about what it is, like the Karopi page, the Hello Kitty page, and I will put them all into a cup. And then every day, as soon as I hit my daily word count goal, I get to reach into the cup, pick out the reward, and it'll be this exciting little thing. What do I get today? If you want to make this even more exciting, something that you could do as an idea is to have someone else create your reward jar for you. So you could brainstorm rewards on this page that you have in your planner. And then you could hand this off to your best friend or your husband or your wife or whoever is in your household that you know would know you well enough, your mom, whoever it is, and say, hey, I need 30 small rewards. Can you pick them out for me and put them all in a jar or put them all in some kind of little container that I can't see what I'm pulling out? Or for example, Angela, who does word sprints for us in our word sprint group, was so incredibly nice to me last, I believe it was for Camp Nano, when I was working on the end of my Shadow Demons book number 11. She sent me 30 different days of wrapped washi tapes. And that was like one of the coolest things anybody had ever done for me, because every day when I finished it, I got to open this little sachet and see what washi tape was in there. It was just wrapped in tissue paper. So you could have a physical box of some kind or a basket and have someone else wrap like little treats, or it could be chocolates, it could be washi tape, it could be pens like this. Wrap them up so you don't know what you're getting. And then it's a surprise every day. Whatever you think will motivate you more, that's what you need to do. And I think this can be such a cool thing, because on those days where you're thinking, I just really don't know if I'm going to make it through the writing today, it is so helpful to have that one little treat to celebrate yourself. And now you've got this cool new pen that you get to go and play with, and now you can go be creative with it. Or you have this chocolate that you get to go enjoy with your soda at the end of the day, whatever it is. And I think that can really help, not only with this little pat on the back that you give yourself, but also with wanting to sit down and do it again tomorrow. Now, let's move into emergency motivation. So you've got your little rewards. You also have your daily routine that's going to help you, like your water or your sitting out on the porch. But what about the emergency motivation? So those are your little daily things, but it's possible that at some point during the month of November, you're going to want to quit. Maybe it just gets too hard. Maybe you're like 10,000 words behind and you just feel like there's no way you're going to do it. Maybe you're just super tired, or you got a little bit sick, or you missed a couple nights of sleep because the baby was up all night crying. Whatever it is for your particular situation, there might be a time, or you run out of story and you feel totally stuck and you're like, I just can't do this anymore. That's when it's time to head for your emergency motivation list inside your creativity toolbox. So for your emergency motivation, we really need to dig deep on what's going to make you feel good, and more importantly, what's going to make you feel inspired to keep writing. This is why I don't have like a pre-packaged survival kit or a pre-packaged creativity toolbox, because everybody here is different, and what motivates you and makes you excited is going to be extremely unique to you. For some people, an episode of, Attack on Titan is going to be like your jam. For some people, you couldn't care less about that, but you would love to sit down with the next chapter of that juicy romance novel. And for some of you, it's pens, and some of you couldn't care less about pens. So every single one of us is going to have different rewards and different things that really motivate us. In the space below on your Preptober planner, brainstorm these types of things: your favorite movies, your favorite shows, your favorite anime or books, things that inspire you in the genre that you're currently writing. If you want to, you can go back to my video about my book of lists and how that inspires me to keep track of what episodes of things I'm watching, to keep track of which genres I enjoy, and what really motivates me about that genre. So for example, one of the things that we did in that video is creating a list of like your top 20 vampire novels that you ever read, or shows that you ever watched because you are writing a vampire novel, or your top 5 heroines who had to go through the heroine's journey type thing, and go back to those favorite things that inspire you. So for me, one of the things that inspired me to write Beautiful Demons and my character Harper was the snarky attitude of Veronica Mars and the way that she solved mysteries at her high school. Now, my character ended up being similar to Veronica Mars, but the storyline is very different. But whenever I need to feel inspired about Harper again, I can go back and watch one of my favorite Veronica Mars episodes, and I immediately start to feel more inspired. So it's kind of like taking a break from the work, but getting back into a place of, oh yeah, that's why I love her. And then you laugh at Veronica and, Kristen Bell, and you go, oh gosh, that's why I wanted to write this character. I love this. For you, it could be a movie. Like, all I had to do was watch the Matrix 4 trailer and I was inspired, even though it has nothing to do with my story world. It was just like an inspiring trailer. And it takes like 3 or 4 minutes to watch that trailer. So write out a list of books, movies, shows, animes, anything, even movie trailers that inspire you to want to write that particular genre. Because when you are burned out and you don't feel like writing, going back to your own home genre and what inspires this particular story is going to be one of your best tools. Another thing that you're going to want to add into this, and if we're talking about kind of your emergency toolkit here, is to add to those lines the things that just maybe not have time for in your daily schedule. Like, okay, so the glass of wine or water or whatever is great, but you need like to pull out the big rewards or the big motivational type things. So go ahead and brainstorm something that always makes you feel uplifted. Like, I'm going to go for a long run. I'm going to go to my favorite museum. I am going to take a blanket out under the apple trees in the orchard, and I'm going to read a book all day. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to treat myself to this. So these are kind of like not exactly rewards, but just like supreme fill the well activities. Like, once you're feeling super down in the dumps and you just don't want to write anymore, maybe you do need a break. Maybe you are feeling burned out. Even if it puts you a day behind on your word count, sometimes taking that break for these emergency toolkit creativity kind of items, like I'm going to sit and I'm going to play Resident Evil for literally like the next 6 hours, that can feel like a reset. Or I'm going to go to bed early and I'm going to get 9 full hours of sleep tonight because I just need to reset my brain. Anything like that. I'm going to go get a massage, like I said, this is a little bit different, similar to rewards, but it's a little bit different in that these are things that really make you feel rejuvenated, refreshed, and excited. So, my examples are things like going back to the stories that inspired you to write this genre in the first place, but it can also be things like going out into nature, spending an entire day sleeping or resting if you needed it. If you're an extrovert, maybe going out to lunch with your best friend, calling an emergency meeting on Zoom with some of your writing critique partners, joining in on writing sprints that are live on YouTube so that you don't feel like you're alone. These are good things to add to your creativity emergency toolkit. Now, one of the things I plan to do is once I have these brainstormed over here on my page, I am actually going to add the emergency motivation things to my note cards. And what I plan to do is use these little 1-inch book rings. Office Depot is where I got these. And I also have with me on the trip a hole punch, just a single hole punch. And so what I plan to do is I will put all of my emergency, these are the things I can turn to. So I'll put Veronica Mars on there. I'll put the Matrix 4 trailer. I don't know why it's so inspirational to me, but it is. I will put Resident Evil because that's one of the games that I'm currently playing. I will put going for a long walk. I will put sleeping an extra, 2 hours getting to sleep in. I will put ordering, special dessert for dinner, stuff like that onto here. And then I will put them all on this note cards, punch a little hole in the corner, open up the book ring and put them all on this ring so that they can stay here in my little creativity, not exactly a toolbox, but my little satchel here, along with the pins and other rewards that I get to give myself throughout the month. And that will be a reminder that when I feel like I just can't sit down and write, I just cannot do it, then I can pull out this little rotating list of emergency things, flip through them and say, what's the thing? What can I do today that's going to get me through? And hopefully, out of all those different things, the daily routine items like having the nice water, going and sitting outside, those are the things that you do every day for your extra self-care. Then you've got the daily rewards, something to look forward to as soon as you hit that after you've done your word count for the day. You have your big rewards, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, and you have your emergency items. Whatever it is that appeals to you. I would absolutely love to see in the comments or over on Instagram, if you want to tag me at Heart Breathings, what you're adding to your emergency toolkit. What motivates you? I'm also going to put up a post in the Heart Breathings Word Sprint group over on Facebook to have people give ideas for what are some good daily rewards, what are some good daily routines. So if you want to come and join that conversation, come join us over in the Word Sprints group on Facebook. If you're just like, Sarah, I am not on Facebook, that is the worst place, then you're welcome to come join my fan Discord server as well. Like I've mentioned before, this is mostly reserved for fans of my books, and that's what we mostly talk about. But there is a Hearties Hangout for people who are in the Heart Breathings community, but prefer to hang out outside of Facebook. You are more than welcome to come join us. So I will put that link for you down below as well. Okay, let me know what you think. Have you ever created a creativity toolbox for yourself? Do you think this is going to work for you? I'm excited to try it. And as we go through the NaNoWriMo diaries, I will show you guys actual examples of how I've set all of mine up. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you find it inspirational and motivational. NaNoWriMo is almost here. We are literally around the corner. I know we can do this. I'm really, really excited for this opportunity and to share this all with you. So let's get ready. It's almost here. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you're subscribed to Heart Breathings and hit the thumbs up button below. Leave a comment to let me know what you thought of this and what your emergency toolkit items are going to be. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.